Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Greene County Express Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the South Greene Rebel basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with Rebels head coach Terry Hoese. Coach,
Tyler,
how we doing this morning?
I'm good. You all right?
I'm doing well. Bright and early on a Wednesday morning, fresh off of a win last night in the District 1 2A. I guess that's quarterfinals against Johnson County. Went back to that 3 seed after that 3-way tie. Still got out of the first round, made it to the semifinals, granted yourself another trip to the region tournament with a good win last night over Johnson County. Tell me how good that felt.
It's good. I mean, blessed to still be playing. You know, a lot of teams went to the house last night, so to still have an opportunity to go play, it's what it's all about this time of the year. And, you know, played fairly well last night. Satisfied with our performance, especially after a 7-day off without playing. So I know we've got a lot of big games coming up, and we're glad to play a lot better than what we have, but it's nice to be playing.
That is correct. Wouldn't say was it scary having such a long layover, but how nerve-wracking was it having 7 days off going into a must-win, go-or-go-home situation?
It's hard. Your kids don't have that competition in front of them, you know, and we had a game scheduled with Crockett, and the game had to be canceled, so you know, we thought we were going to get to play on Friday night and then not have such a layover. But you have that fear all the time, your kids coming out rusty and not performing well. But we offensively last night, we shot the ball well, scored 82 points, and I was satisfied offensively. I feel like we need to get a little bit better defensively right here. I felt like we were kind of rusty on the defensive side, but it's nice to get that win and get it out of the way. And honestly, at this point, you hate to play that quarterfinal game because you got a little pressure on you. You may not make the regional tournament, but if you can play in that quarterfinal game and get a win, it gets you an extra game right there, and it kind of gets the ball started. So hopefully we can kind of use last night as a jumping stone or a stepping stone, excuse me. But we'll have to play a lot better come Friday night against Hampton.
Seemed like you had no rust last night either. I think you had 3 in double digits, 24, 19, and 19. Talk about the offensive production that you saw out of those 3 players.
Good game from all those guys. Cooper Kelly with 24 points, and I think he wound up with 5 rebounds. Jace Roderick with 19 points and 2 rebounds. He didn't rebound the ball very well last night, but he scored. Chandler Gamble with 19 points and 7 rebounds, and I had a 4th, T.J. Buckner, with 10 points and 8 rebounds. So good performance from those 4 guys, and that's what we're looking for. We know that that's where our offensive production is coming from. It has all year, and they were there last night.
Whenever you can put 4 in double figures, you've got a good chance at winning that game.
High double figures too, 24, 19, and 19. So I'll take it.
Whenever you can put 4 in double figures, and whenever you can score 80 plus as a team, your chances of winning are very, very high. I'm not that good at math. I haven't done the math on that and don't know the actual statistics. But when you go into that, every game that you score 80 or more, you've probably got I'd say an 80+% chance of winning that game.
Absolutely.
Unless you give up 80 on defense, which we saw in a game last night in the opposite region. I think 85-82 might have been the final of that game. So it's entirely possible, but you got it done last night. Got a big win over Johnson County. Moving on into the semifinals now. You're facing a very familiar opponent. You've played them quite a lot this season to only have played them in 2 games, because you've played them almost 2.5 games with as much as you got in during that 3 overtime thriller at Hampton. They beat you here. You beat them there. You get them on a neutral court for the 3rd game. That'll be in the semifinals to decide who goes to the championship. We got to cut to break first and pay the bills before we talk about that game. So we'll be right back in just a minute here on Grassroots Media. Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Greene County Express Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the court with the Rebels basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with Rebels head coach Terry Hoese. So you got the district semifinals now on Friday night, and then you move forward next week with either the district championship or consolation game on Tuesday. It's kind of beneficial how in this tournament setting it's not back-to-back-to-back or so many games in so many days. You get all three within 8 days, kind of have a little bit of time to rest and prepare each day. Don't know what's to come in the next round because you have that semifinal game to come against Hampton, but it's against a team that you know very well. You've played them twice this year, played them twice last year and the year before. You've had a lengthy history against Hampton. You've scheduled them even when you were in different classifications and conferences. You know them like the back of your hand. I know you and Coach Ned, you both know exactly what you're going to throw out there on the court and what you're going to run. So what are you preparing for when you step onto the court to play against Hampton on Friday night?
You know, the biggest thing when you play against Hampton, it's always been this way. You have to take care of the basketball. They get up, full court press you, and if your kids take care of the ball and get across half court, you've got a good shot to go score. But not to say that they can't play half court defense. They're good, and you just alluded to the fact that we've played them for years, even when they weren't in our class. Always like to play good teams, and they went and won the state tournament last year in single A, and they've always had a solid team. And somehow he figures out a way to play 9 or 10 kids and get the most out of them. Does a super job with his kids. So in order to go compete with them, you've got to take care of the ball, and you've got to make smart decisions, and you've got to play hard.
Would you say at this point in your season, is this the toughest game to date so far, with the stakes being what they are, looking at the opposite district and what could come?
That's what I told kids last night. I felt like we played okay last night, but I told them, we're going to have to play much better Friday night if we want a chance to beat Hampton. And at this point, if we get beat Friday night and you wind up in that third, fourth place game, you're going on the road to probably either Alcoa, Austin East, or Gatlinburg-Pittman, and nobody wants to go down there and play in somebody's home gym for that first round of the region. It makes it extremely tough to advance from that point. So a lot on the line for Friday night, and I know my kids know that, and I know his kids know that. So I don't think either one of us are going to throw anything at each other that we don't know, that we hadn't seen. I've got pages of notes on Hampton, and I know he's got pages of notes on South Greene. So we're going to be prepared. It's going to come down Friday night to whose kids execute the best. That's the bottom line.
And we've talked about it all year. You've got a district over here with Hampton, Chucky Doak, South Greene. You've got a district over there with Austin East, Gatlinburg, Pittman, and Alcoa. And one of those three teams is going to have to travel to these counties. And it could be the teams that you least expect, too. Yep. It could be you all traveling down there. It could be Austin East traveling down here. You don't know. Yep. And I think that's what makes the district tournament more important this year than in the previous years, is because nobody, and absolutely nobody, wants to go to that opposite region and play. And we've talked about that all year, how that's the possibility that you could get the number 1 team slip back to the 3 seed, and you could win the tournament or finish second, and they could come down here and play you guys. So it's time. We've talked about it all year. It's here now. You've got Hampton on Friday night, though. That's the most important one, though, that you're looking forward to. I think enough time has passed now where everybody's finally calmed down from the triple overtime game.
We don't want another one of those. I'll take it if that's what it takes to win, but I don't want another one of those.
It took about 2 weeks for everybody to kind of simmer down and kind of put it in the back of their minds, because I'll admit, even after 2 weeks, that game still popped in my head every single day of how crazy that was. But that's all we've got today. Got Hampton on Friday night. Hopefully airing this on Thursday night this week instead of Friday night, to get everything out before the district tournament for the girls on Thursday night. Lady Rebels also have a big game coming up also.
Yes.
They've got Chucky Doak, the 4th time this year. That's crazy. Could potentially play them 5 times if they meet in the regional tournament too.
Absolutely.
You ever played a team 5 times in a year?
Unicoi, I've not. Our girls played Unicoi County years ago, 5 times, the 5th time being in the state championship. So it's happened.
That's wild that you play a team 5 times. I know Chucky Doak and West Greene did it 2 years ago, I think, and that's just crazy how you could play a team that many times in a season. And it's crazy how much you could beat a team that many times in a season, too. But that's all we've got this week, Coach. As always, thank you for sitting down and joining me. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Greene County Express Terry Hoese Show. Look forward to seeing y'all next time here on Grassroots Media.